Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you've never been here before, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and check out plenty of the videos that I have. Everybody else, welcome back. This is my boy Dippy. Out of my six dogs, he is the male Pomeranian. He's about 6 years old, a real handsome fella. Loves his Chinese noodles. Loves his Chinese noodles from the Chinese restaurant. That's one of his favorite things. Let me put him down. Say goodbye, Dippy. Say goodbye to everyone. All right. Today we're going to be talking about, for those of you that have never been here, I served 17 years in the New York prison system. Not something to brag about, not something to boast about, but I have experience in there. And so I can relay that experience to you in an intelligent way, not on here in some tank top with my tattoos screaming about being a shot caller and all that nonsense. When we talk about the prison system here, I give you an intellectual breakdown of what it's like to be in prison, to be in jail, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in a way that you can really comprehend what it's like. And today we're going to talk about protective custody inside of the prison system. A lot of people are very confused about how this works and the different aspects of it. They said, is Sean P. Diddy Combs going to go into protective custody? Um, Let me explain to you the way this works. Protective custody inside of the prison system is something that a prisoner chooses to be in. The administration doesn't protect you in what's called protective custody. That's something different that I'll get to in a minute. Protective custody is when a prisoner himself feels like he's too scared to be in the general population. He's too nervous. He feels like something's going to happen to him, or he has a problem with other prisoners and he feels like they're going to come get him. And so he goes to the administration and says, I would like to be placed in protective custody. Okay. And the prison administration just doesn't automatically do that. The administration usually wants the person to give up a name in order to be in protective custody. You can't just go to them and be like, I want to be in protective custody, and they put you in there. They're going to do an investigation and they're going to ask the prisoner, why do you want to be in protective custody? Who do you have a problem with? If you just say, I'm scared, they're not going to put you in protective custody. They want you to give someone up, usually in order to be in there. They want you to explain that you got involved in some type of situation. And then they make a decision on if they're going to place you in protective custody or not. Okay, so that's the way PC works. Okay, then you have what's called, oh, well, let me tell you what protective custody happens if you are placed in protective custody. You are moved to a different part of the prison where the general population does not have access to you. Okay. And you are placed in a cell for most of the day. You are now you don't have the freedoms to move around the prison like you would if you were in the normal general population. You usually get fed your meals in your cell. You don't go to program like the other prisoners. You still do have access to things like commissary, things like visits, things like phone calls, but not as frequently as someone in the general population. And they'll keep you in protective custody. You go before boards. There's administrative boards that decide how long they should keep you in there, if they should move you to another prison in general. You usually only get your 1 hour of recreation a day. And so you lose a lot of the privileges if you decide to sign into protective custody. So that's PC. Then they have and you have no access to the other prisoners. Okay. But people in protective custody can still got. And what I mean by that is people can still get to you if they really want to get to you. When there's a will, there's a way. So if someone really wants to get you, then they can have one of their friends sign into protective custody in order to get close to you. You know what I'm saying? It's a very simple solution. And guys do that sometimes. So that's PC. PC, remember, is a prisoner's choice. Protective custody. It's a prisoner's choice to go into protective custody. Then you have what's called IPC. Okay. And see, Sean P. Diddy Combs could get placed in something called IPC. And what that is involuntary protective custody. And what that means is that you didn't go into protective custody on your own. The administration did it for you. Excuse me. God bless me. Right? So IPC means that the administration has decided to put you in protective custody. There's many reasons why this is done. They could do this because you're a high profile inmate. They could do this because they have information that someone's going to come after you. They could do this because, for many different reasons, the prison can put you in IPC, involuntary protective custody. People in involuntary protective custody do not get to mingle with the people in protective custody. They might be in the same area, but they won't be allowed out of their cells at the same time. They won't be able to go to recreation at the same time. They will be separated. So that's involuntary protective custody. When you're in involuntary protective custody, you have a little more rights than the person in protective custody because you didn't ask for this. The administration is doing it for you. IPC can also be known as what's called administrative segregation, right? And that means exactly what it says, that the administration has decided to segregate you from the population. This is what happened to guys like Mark David Chapman. I was in Attica prison with him. Because of he was such a high profile prisoner, because they believed other prisoners would take him out for what he did, they placed him in administrative segregation. And that means that the administration segregates you from the general population. And administrative segregation is usually very long term compared to IPC, involuntary protective custody. They're basically like the same thing, but involuntary protective custody is usually temporary. It doesn't last as long as administrative segregation. I know guys that were in administrative segregation for 25 years because they had such a high profile case that the facility decided to keep them separated. Someone like Brian Kohlberger is in administrative segregation, right? He's locked in his cell 23 hours a day, segregated from the prison population. He didn't do anything to get placed in that situation in the prison. In other words, he didn't commit any disciplinary infractions. He didn't receive any misbehavior reports. He didn't get caught with drugs or a weapon or fight inside of the prison in order to be separated from the population. They literally separated him from the population because they feel he is a target, right? And he probably will always stay like that. I see him dying in that situation. 20 years from now, he'll probably be in administrative segregation. Is it possible that they can let him out and put him in the general population? Sure, it's possible. 10 years from now, 15 years from now, they may do something like that. But the odds are that they're not going to, you know. And then, so those are the three aspects of protective custody. You have PC, which is protective custody. You have IPC, which is involuntary protective custody. And then you have admid-seg, which is administration segregation, right? All of those are very different than being placed in solitary confinement. Solitary confinement is a punishment, right? Solitary confinement is different. Even though you're in PC, that's like a form of solitary because you're in your cell much of the day. You're taken away from the general population. You lose some of the privileges, but solitary confinement is different. Solitary confinement is a punishment, and when you're in solitary confinement, you don't have access to really anything. You may get one phone call a month. You're not entitled to your television. You're not entitled to your tablet. You're not entitled to have commissary buys except purchasing cosmetics from the commissary. They allow you to purchase certain cosmetics, but you're not allowed to purchase the food items or the drink items or tobacco products because in New York they still have smoking in the prison system. They're only allowed to smoke outside in the recreational yard, but guys smoke in their cells anyway. When you're in solitary, you don't have access. That's a punishment. In solitary, you are in your cell 23 hours a day, and you're allowed to get out for 1 hour of recreation where you are by yourself. In that 1 hour of recreation, you basically step out into a dog cage. So, this is just a short video to explain to you how it works with segregating prisoners from the prison population. So when you make a statement, I received a lot of statements. He's Diddy's going to PC. He's going to go into PC. Now you understand the difference. That PC is something only someone can sign into themselves, and the administration can place them in IPC or admit seg if they want. When you're in admit segregation, you're usually able to hang out with all the other prisoners that are in administration segregation. My buddy that did 20 years in admit segregation, which was in Clinton Prison. It's a unit called APPU. That's where they put a lot of judges, a lot of police officers. That's where the officer that killed Robert Brooks is right now. He's in Clinton in APPU, right? And so he's with these other prisoners that are also in APPU. They may not have let him out into the admit segregation recreation area already because he could still get gotten. So I don't know exactly what's going on with him yet, but he is up in Clinton in that area. So now you guys understand a little bit of the difference. Any questions, just ask me in the comments. I try to get back to every single one of you, and I'll be working on a video for later on this afternoon or this evening right after I take care of my dogs and some stuff around the house. And that's it for now. That's a wrap. All right. I'll see you guys later.